anything random, but what do you know about scientific notation? Yeah, it'd be 10 to the 10th power. Awesome, take a point. Now, is it always base 10?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It is always base 10, isn't it? Because 10 moves your decimal. So it's moving your decimal. Now, do scientific notation, when it's written in scientific notation, how many numbers in front of the decimal do you have? Only one in front of the decimal. And it can be equal to or greater than 1, but it has to be less than 10. So what we're going to do with our handy dandy stuff that we just cut out is we're going to figure out whether it goes in the standard to scientific notation section or scientific to standard. So let's turn our paper and let's look at the first one. Move the decimal place to make the number in the ones place greater than or equal to 1, but less than 10. So if we move the decimal to make the number in the ones place greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10, is that scientific or standard? That's going from standard to scientific? It is. So we're going to glue this over here. Standard to scientific. So when you're going from standard to scientific, you move the decimal to make the number in the ones place equal to, greater than or equal to 1, but less than 10. And I'm going to draw a line down the middle of these two so I know what's on what side. Okay, so what would our other big one be? Positive exponent, move the decimal to the right. Negative exponent, move the decimal to the left. Scientific to standard. Awesome. So the exponent tells you which way to move it. If it's positive, you move it which direction? To the right. And if it's negative, you move it which direction? Look at us go. It's like we know how to do stuff. Okay, now you have some little problems, right? So I want you and your group to figure out which one goes on which side, and then we'll talk about it together. Don't glue it down yet. I just want y'all to figure out which problems go on which side. Man, y'all talk non-stop when you're not supposed to be talking, but when I actually want you to communicate, you sit there in silence. And it's painful. Alright, so remember what your flappies say. The one on the left says standard to scientific, and the one on the right says scientific to standard. So, which one do you think this one is going to go in? Scientific to standard. So this is in scientific form, right? And then they moved it 4 places where? To the left, because it's negative. So that's going from scientific notation to standard. So let's put it there. Yeah, that's all I'm wanting you to do. That's what I said. It's crazy, man, that I explain how I want you to do things. Alright, what about this guy right here?
Oh, that's going to standard to scientific.
It is. Look at you go. And why is it negative?
Because it's not positive.
Because it started as a decimal, right?
Yeah.
So if it starts as a decimal, you're going to have a negative exponent. It's crazy that our notes tell us what we're doing. What?
Jesus.
Every day. All right, what about this one?
Scientific to standard.
Scientific to standard. And the last one. This one. Standard to scientific. So are there any little notes that you want to write down, or do you think that this is pretty much self-explanatory and tells us what to do? Okay. Are you ready to practice? Alright, so example A. We're going to write example A under the standard to scientific notation. So we're going to write example A at the bottom down here on the left. Also, I really need us to start practicing on our handwriting, because when I'm grading your test, I can't read your answers, and if I can't read your answers, I can't grade it, and then you don't get points. So please, for the love of God, let's start working on our handwriting. So we have graph paper. Alright, so example A. I want you to convert this to scientific notation. I want 27,500,000. Yep, like that. This is underneath standard notation to scientific notation. Just straight at the bottom. Okay? So example A. Now, are we ready, or do we need a moment?
Yeah.
Does anybody need a moment? Okay, to write it in scientific notation, you start here and you move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to become 2.75 times 10. Now, we need to determine if it's going to be positive 7 or negative 7. So let's open our Flappy and look up here. If it starts as a whole number, what kind of exponent are we going to have? Did we start as a whole number? So it's going to be a positive 7.
Do you always move the 7?
Well, it depends on the number. Right? Because, for example, B, what if I had this? So how many places am I going to move my decimal? Now, you need to move it to the 5 over here. So you're going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be 5.6 times 10. And we moved it 5 times. Now, did we start as a whole number or a decimal? So what kind of exponent?
Negative.
So negative 5. Do we need one more? Let's do one more just to be safe. We're going to call it example C, and we're going to squeeze it in down here. I do. But it's because I want you to be able to see it. If I wrote small, you'd complain that you couldn't see it. And
I got good eyes.
it would be this big thing, and, you know. I want you to do this one without me. Great, what did y'all get?
To the negative.
It won't be negative.
I'm thinking the 8.
Alright, so 3.98 times 10 to the 8th, right?
Yes.
And why is it positive?
Because it started off as a whole number.
Started off as a whole number. Okay. Are you ready to go? From scientific notation to standard form.
Sure.
Let's do this. Pardon? Mm-hmm.
This week?
Wednesday.
Oh.
Right. I don't understand why you're complaining about this. This is easy.
Who complaining?
You.
I said this ain't shit. Talking mushroom.
Oh, I thought you said. Never mind. Yes.
I'm just kind of confused on how, I understand like where you get like exponent points, but like, how do you know like how many times to move it? Because like, I would almost got it, I need to do 7.
You have to move it to where there's one number in front of the decimal. So remember, it says the top, and that's a great question. It says move the decimal to make the number in the ones place, which is the number out front, greater than or equal to 1, but less than 10. So, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So you move it until there's one number in front of the decimal. Every time. No worries. Jarek, what were you going to say? Are you better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so let's look at scientific notation to standard form. We're going to do 2.63 times 10 to the 9th power. Alright, so is that a positive or a negative exponent? And at the top of our paper on scientific to standard, what does it say we do with positive exponents?
Move to the right.
To the right. So we're going to move the decimal to the right. How many places?
9.
9. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that many places, we're going to have that many zeros. So it's going to be 263. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. How would you put that?
Your commas?
Yeah.
After every 3. So start from the right and put commas after every 3. Does anybody have any questions on how I did that? We're good?
Wait, so is there 0 after 263? And it's comma?
I'm sorry?
Is that before the comma or after 263?
It's 2, comma, 630, comma, 000, comma, 000. Y'all, you start from the right, and 3 zeros you get a comma, 3 zeros you get a comma, 3 places you get a comma. Y'all didn't learn that like a long time
Oh,
ago?
I did, but why is it like, why is it 2 have a comma?
Because it's 2 million.
What is happening? 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma.
No, but
What world are you in?
space. Earth.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Alright, let's do this one. Let's throw a negative out there and go crazy. Negative 6.3 times 10 to the negative 4.
Are we doing this now?
Would you like to do it on your own?
Yes.
Do it on your own.
Give it a try.
You can do it. Persevere in the face of danger. Yes. Negative 4. Okay? No, it's not. Eat a cheeseburger.
Fresh air.
Yes, and it's lovely.
Now you sure?
No.
You said no?
I did. That means no, you can't go. Because it's my classroom and we're in the middle of a lesson.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, am I going to move the decimal to the left or to the right? To the left, because it says negative exponents, move decimal to the left. And how many places?
4.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many zeros am I going to have? How many zeros? 3.
3.
So negative 0.00063. Though you move the decimal 4 places, you only have this many zeros. Because this is in the place of the 6, right?
What about the 0 in front of the decimal?
Oh, you can have the 0 in front of the decimal.
Then that'll be 4 decimals.
Yes, that's not what they were meaning. So the 0 in front of the decimal would make it 4, but behind the decimal, 3. Stand up. Do jumping jacks. What, sweetie? Because that's the point of what we're doing. Scientific notation puts it in decimal form. Yeah. Alright, last one, and then homework. So that we can practice the first part of it together and make sure we're all on the same page. Well, with the first part of our lesson. Alright, so let's do 2.3 times 10 to the negative 8th power. Are we ready? Okay. So, 8 places. Holy moly. 1, and then I'm going to have 7 zeros, right? Yep. 7. So, 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3. And if you don't believe me, count over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dun dun dun. Because you've already moved it 1 place by moving it with the 2. So then you have 7 more to go, right? And that's all filled with zeros. Alright, in the top drawer of your tower, the back pages are the homework. So grab that binder clip back out of the Algebra 1B. Everybody gets 2 of the back pages. Everybody gets 2 of the back pages. 2 of the back pages. Once I finish explaining the homework. Maybe, if we have time. May I please have one?
What if I don't got a clear picture?
Thank you. That's why we're still in class together. What?
How many points you take off the math?
30.
And how many points is this?
40. Alright, so, baby, this is homework. We don't glue down homework because we're turning it in. Alright, so the first part says write each number using scientific notation. So what are you going to do with this?
Write the number down.
And you're going to keep your notes out because it tells you how to write it. So if you close your notebook, I'm going to be highly upset. Does everyone understand?
Yeah.
Keep your notebook out because it tells you how to write it. The second part says to write each number in standard form. Isn't that what we just practiced doing? Fantastic. Go.